Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
With Amex Platinum,
welcome to the Centurion Lounge.
You get access to the Centurion Lounge, so the sounds of vacation start before you get there. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
You've got a job for us?
One that'll pay for itself 10 times over.
Forget it. We ain't that desperate.
Do you know what this is? It's a common immune booster called isoprobalin. Street value for a dosage this size, 50 platinum. Maybe 20 credits. Propoxin, maybe 80. Hydrazepam, 200. And all of these are just from the med kit I had with me when I came on board. At a hospital like the one in Ariel City, they'll have shelves of that stuff. Whatever the take, it's more than enough payment for what I have in mind.
So, the med vault isn't the job?
That's the payment. I tell you how to get in, get out, and what's worth taking. If you help me get River into the hospital's diagnostic ward.
What's in the diagnostic ward?
A 3D neuro-imager. If I can get River in there, I might be able to figure out what they did to her at the academy.
So we get you and your sister into the whatcha-thing, and you tell us how to clean up the hospital.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Firefly. We're just two boys watching every episode of Firefly for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I'm Vance Tucker.
Oh, last name episode, everybody. Today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 9, titled Ariel, directed by Alan Croker, written by Jose Molina. Original air date November 15th, 2002, to an audience of 4.49 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, just want to send out a reminder that we have a Discord. Join our Discord. We have a lot of fun stuff happening there, which is a little hint about something that's coming up in a second from our Discord. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Boys Watching Buffy. We're wrapping up Boys Watching Angel. It's a couple episodes left, Vance. Only a few Angel left.
Yeah, it is coming to a close, and I have no idea how it is going to wrap up.
Me neither. It seems like they're opening up new storylines, new things are happening. But yes, we are wrapping up Angel. And you know what? That leads to a lot of questions and speculation, too. People have been asking. We're doing a slow trickle-out rollout, giving people some stuff, some hints towards the future. So, we've got stuff decided.
Yeah, we also do Boys Watching Movies on Patreon also, right?
Oh, you're right. We do Boys Watching Movies on Patreon. And that is one thing that has been decided for the future. For our December movie for Boys Watching Movies, we're doing The Long Kiss Goodnight, which Vance assures me is a Christmas movie.
It takes place on Christmas. I did not ensure. That's all I... It's a Christmas movie as much as Die Hard is a Christmas movie, I would say. I have seen this movie before, but only once, and probably when it came out. I do not remember much about it, but it has been on the year-end bonus episodes recommendations from listeners. So I don't know who recommended it, but Christmas coming early for you.
There you go. So be on the lookout for that later this month. And be on the lookout for something else. You want to take the helm on this, Vance?
Yeah, I think everybody's been wanting to know what show we're going to do next, And I think it's time to stop putting off that and just tell them, the show we're going to do next on Patreon is Dollhouse.
Yes, we've heard the pleas, we've heard the cries. Another Whedon show. Though I've checked in on Discord, And there are people it's split on Dollhouse, it seems like. Split on Dollhouse.
Shocker. The Buffy fandom is not a consensus.
Yeah, so we will be checking out Dollhouse on Patreon. Stay tuned for more announcements as we continue doing Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Firefly, the listeners came through.
You know, sometimes you got to do a call to action to get people going. And I'll give them a little bit of defense. Some people were afraid to come up with song lyrics because they didn't want to spoil stuff, which we appreciate. We appreciate that, Discord. But we got some listeners chimed in with some theme song lyrics for Out of Gas.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some people send us some voice recordings. They actually sang it. And I think it's
lovely. That's more than we asked for.
That's above and beyond. And I think it's only right that we share those with the listeners, you know? So
hell yeah, dude.
So here is our moderator, our Discord moderator. Everyone on Discord knows him. Here's Elias and his theme song for Out of Gas.
Take my breath, take it all. Take my crew and watch me fall. I don't care, I'll die free. Life support is failing me.
Awesome.
Of course, Elias goes above and beyond. He's the Discord moderator, records the song. Another person that's gone above and beyond is our longtime listener, fan, friend, Slither Ann. Came up with a little recording of her own. And here is a little bit of that.
Things get broke, can't be fixed, not with duct tape or a stick. Red couple or grab boot, you see? That's Kaylee on Serenity.
Awesome to see Kaylee getting some love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we had another person that we wanted to highlight because they specifically wrote out entire lyrics to like the whole song.
Yeah, this is a full theme song. And
this is the most in-depth one I feel like we got.
Yeah. And this is what we've decided. We've decided that for next week, everyone should come on the Discord and write up some theme song lyrics, and we're going to choose our favorite one. It might not be the best one, but we're going to choose our favorite one, and we're going to perform it. So
yes.
So we're going to perform it on the episode. So if by next Friday, if you're listening to this in real time, by Friday before Saturday, if you can get in your
yes, that's
your
generally
lyrics.
when Friday. Friday before Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you can get in some theme song lyrics for the episode Ariel, this episode that we're recording now, we'll perform them in next week's episode, which I do not know the title of yet.
Yeah, I actually minimized that part, so I don't know either. But yes, this Discord user is called Anzai. They wrote up these lyrics, and yeah, this is me. I went ahead and I tried to learn the guitar chords for the Firefly song. So here we go. Anzai, this is for you. Here we go. Ship blew up, Zoe dead. It's flashback time inside my head. Take the crew and leave me be, here to die on Serenity. Some guys turned up with the part, shot me but they missed my heart. Pulled the gun, they backed off in a way that made this podcast scoff. Inara's flashback needed more than dated jokes where Mal calls her whore. They all came back and now we're free to keep flying Serenity. There you go, everybody. Holy crap, that was a struggle. Hopefully by the next week, I will have actually learned to not try to sight read the song.
So, definitely could tell you're trying to read the song and the lyrics at the same time. Little
Vance is looking at me struggle as I'm doing that. He's just like, oh, Jesus, maybe we shouldn't do this.
I gotta say, I'm eventually going to get Joe to like this theme song.
No, I like the little at the beginning. Yeah. That's about it. But yeah, there you go. There's my sight read version of this song. So thanks, Anzai. Really appreciate you.
I've really done a great job of taking the onus of me writing lyrics and even singing the lyrics off of this show.
Yes, you really did. You were just like, I'll put it out to the listeners, and then Joe, you really micromanaged this, didn't you?
Well, once you said you were going to play the guitar for it, I was like, I can't sing over your guitar. It's going to be wrong.
Yeah, that'd be wrong. Way too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is that. We don't have any more announcements at the top, do we?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we have any shout outs, except for let's give a shout out to Discord user Ed Banger for coming out to Johnny Walsh's musical improv show the other night.
Yeah. That was dope. Good to see you, Ed Banger. Yeah. And Johnny's show, always a delight.
Yeah, David Boreanaz references. A little reference from
David.
Stiff as a board, light as a feather. Little reference to The Craft. You can check that out on Patreon in the movies with Johnny as a guest on that as well.
They give out free beer at that show. I mean, what more?
That's why I was there. That's why I was there.
Oh my God. All right. Well, should we get into? We don't have anything else. We're all good. Should we bust in this energy drink?
Yeah. I'm back on the C4 creamsicle era. This is a big episode, you know?
I'm going guava today. I got a lot of energy from sight reading that song and the nervousness, the nerves going through my body.
Performing live. This is a live podcast, everyone.
Yes, it is. We perform it every Tuesday at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Pacific time. All right. So Ariel, we get a previously on.
Before we dive in, one more thing. Predictions.
Oh yeah, what were our predictions? Yes.
I said a water planet, and you said an Inara flashback episode, and Inara is not her real name.
Yeah. Hey man, we're swinging for the fences. I don't know.
Yeah. The irony is, last episode I was like, man, we got to get into this river stuff, and then my prediction is not that we're going to get into the river stuff.
Yeah. But we get a previously on Firefly. We have a train job recap and just overall river being a problem for the crew. Kind of a river backstory. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh no.
It's a river episode.
I say it's a river episode. Oh no.
I do have a little follow-up for Out of Gas. We did get a little pushback on Discord for us coming down on that crew for just like leaving Mal behind. There was a lot of people saying that other crew was a doppelganger
like dark
crew
version of Fire Serenity.
Yeah, and they were just like, well, once they didn't want to risk getting shot and whatever. But my thing is, I don't think Mal would ever just go onto a ship that needed help and then shoot the captain unarmed.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're the dark version.
They're the dark version, but in the people's defense of them just leaving, they're like, well, they didn't want to get risk getting shot for that ship. And I'm like, nah, they seem like they are morally scrupulous.
Yeah, they did not seem like good people.
Yeah.
They're not Mal, the thief / captain with a heart of gold or whatever.
Yeah. But fair enough.
But here we go. We are doing a river heavy episode. Crew is in the common area. Simon's making River some food and she's like, I don't want it. And Jayne is like, smells like crotch. And Wash wants to get off the ship with Zoe and feed pigeons, and Zoe's not having it. And everyone, it's like just nonsense conversations because we don't have the context of what's going on. And it turns out they're landing on the central planets, which is Alliance heavy, very, very corporate, I guess.
Yeah.
Not like
it's
in the
just
border planets.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting that they can even land there and be fine, but
right.
But
Their
this
ship
gives a
has been
little bit of
flagged.
scale. This gives a little bit of scale too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Zoe doesn't even want to leave the ship, and Mal's like, that's a good idea. I don't think that we are leaving the ship at all. We are just dropping off Inara. She's going to do her physical exam, renew her companion license, and it'll be fine. And Inara's like, yeah, it's only going to take 2 days. And everyone's like, fucking 2 days? I think it's Wash. He's like, oh, hang out with doctors for fucking 2 days? That sounds awful. And Simon's like, hey. And Jayne's like, hey, man. I forget what Jayne says to Simon, but he insults Simon some way.
No, he spits. Well, he's cleaning his gun and he spits.
Yeah. Well, and then Simon's like, could you not do that? And Jayne's, I don't know what causes this to happen, but Jayne does something that he says something to Simon. I forget what it was. Fuck.
I don't know.
But River takes high offense to this, and she slashes Jayne across the chest with a knife.
Yeah, I don't think he said anything that was that incendiary. Like it's kind of unforced error, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
And Jayne just gets up and backhands the shit out of her.
Oh yeah,
instant reaction. And she says he looks better in red.
Yeah, she's all bloody mouth. He looks better in red. And yeah, you know, I'm with Jayne there. If a person is slashing me with a knife, yeah, I'm gonna fucking slap. I don't care if it's a woman, okay?
Yeah, Jayne seems like the voice of reason for a little bit in this episode.
Yeah.
And then he becomes Jayne.
Of course.
Yeah.
So then we have Simon stitching Jayne up, and Jayne's like, she's getting worse. And Simon's like, yeah, I know. And Jayne's like, I'm not fucking talking to you, pretty boy. I'm talking to Mal. And he's like, we should just drop off Simon and River at Ariel, where they're landing, which is the name of the planet, which is the name of the episode. And Mal's like, we're not going to do that, Jayne. Like, yeah, she went off a little crazy today. It's, you know, typical little crazy stuff. Stab, slash, you know, one of my crew members. But yeah, like, we're not going to drop her off. And Jayne's like, why? We could get like a really good reward. Fuck this guy. Fuck her. We can get another doctor. And Mal's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then Jayne's like, all right, well, who knows what River's going to do next? Could be you. Could be Zoe. Could be Kaylee. Who knows? She could wander around while we're all asleep and just kill us all. We don't know what this crazy person is capable of. Like, why are we still housing these people? And Mal's like, I'm not leaving them. I'm not leaving them. And Jayne's like, well, fuck you. You owe me a new shirt. And he gets up and leaves after Simon's done stitching him up, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
So Jayne leaves. And then Mal turns to Simon. And Mal's like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I want to protect you, but I mean, my boy here, Jayne, has got a point. What's going on with your sister? And Simon's like, yeah, man, she's getting worse. And then Mal's like, yeah, I can tell. So here are the new rules, okay? River is not to leave her room. If she's going to go to the bathroom or get food, you need my permission to grant her access to other parts of the ship. You got that? And Simon's like, yeah. And Mal's like, can't believe a fucking son of a bitch. And he just kind of walks off.
Now, I'm a little torn with Mal's managerial skills here, or like his approach. Like, on one hand, I get not wanting to like give in at all to Jayne. But I feel like then that leaves you with a disgruntled employee. Especially when you're going to then, once that employee leaves, then chide the one person. Like, if you do the thing, if you tell Simon that in front of Jayne, it's a little more like, okay, you do realize that there's a problem and you are addressing it. Not, hey, it's fine. They're crew members. We're not going to do anything. Get out of here. And then you tell Simon that when Jayne is gone. I understand.
Well, that's the whole thing.
But,
like this goes against his whole ethos is like, that's my crew. Nobody fucks with my crew. But like River's fucking with your crew.
Yeah.
Like she could have killed Jayne, and you're like, hey, tisk tisk, you're grounded.
But yeah, Mal has done this before too, where he tells Jayne something, but then he tells, like when they were doing that Reaver episode or something, when he was like, hey, go get this. Okay, Kaylee and Wash, we're actually tied down. We need to like he keeps things close to the vest and plays it separately. Keeps people in the dark, I should say.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So it fits that way, but I feel like this would just make Jayne. I would be more worried about Jayne taking things into his own hands because I didn't seem like I had control of it.
Yes, dude. Yeah. I mean, there's so many variables that could happen here with Jayne, like being disgruntled.
Yeah.
Jayne might fucking kill Mal. Like he's like tried to betray Mal a couple times.
I would think he might just kill River and be like, oh, she attacked me or something, you know?
Right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah. She was out wandering the halls. Jayne doesn't know that's the new rule.
I know he doesn't he has no idea about that. Yeah.
I'm sure that he told everybody at the next dinner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But, it's, yeah.
Yeah. But Serenity lands on Ariel. Kaylee and Inara talking about dating. What if you go on the planet and find a nice date with a nice gentleman? And Inara's like, oh, ha, 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 ha. And then Kaylee's like, I feel like that would be complicated with you being a companion. And Inara's like, tell me about it. It would be very complicated.
Well, I know exactly how this scene played out. And Kaylee asks, what's the companion policy on dating? And Inara says, it's complicated. I hate stuff like this. I'm more interested in what that policy is. Saying it's complicated just makes it like, what? Like, because now I want to know, like, it needs to be like, you say that, and this is like, what's her deal with Mal? Like, can she actually date Mal? Now I don't even know, but that was never a question before. Normally it was just her policy not to service the crew.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's no like official like companion policy for dating.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's rules that like if you're dating someone, you still have to serve. So? I'm sure if you're a companion, you still have to service clients at a certain like you still have to be in service for like probably 8 months out of the year. So I'm sure there's like some stipulations in the con. If she has to go and do a physical to renew her license to be a companion, I'm sure there's a bunch of like little red tapes, or you have to officially say this is my significant other or something. Like if you're gonna buy a companion, you probably want to know if like she's betrothed or like dating someone or like completely like in a committed relationship with someone. Maybe, I don't know, because it's more governmental. Right. It's more governmental here than it is like a brothel or a legal brothel or something. Like this is government sanctioned kind of.
I completely disagree. I think that this is like personal life. I feel like she's talking about how it's complicated for the person that she's dating. Whereas like you can renew your license, but nothing's forcing her to like. So you think
Kaylee is saying when she says what is the companion policy? She's saying what is your policy, Anar, not companion in general.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I was thinking companion in general.
It's like I could renew my driver's license, but nothing's forcing me to drive. You know, like she can renew her license to be a companion, but nothing's forced. Like she could retire. It's not like she is doing all this stuff.
Yeah, I still don't really like it because it didn't even really mean anything either. It's complicated. It's like she's not even dating anybody. Like what is I
this?
Mean,
she could, but then you have to have that complicated conversation with the person that you're dating. That's what I took it as.
Here's what I'll say. What does it do for this episode?
Yeah, it does nothing.
Okay. That's
yeah.
No, all right.
It just shows that Kaylee is like love struck and Inara's like, I don't know. Inara's an enigma. She's complicated.
Don't use the term enigma. That word means nothing now.
Yes. Watch Aaron Rodgers' new documentary on Netflix, Enigma. Ugh. Anyway, a little football talk, football corner with Joe and Vance there. Anyway, so Jayne and Mal are playing horseshoes, and they're like, man, I mean, if we got to stay here, what, we're just going to stay here and sit on the ship for 2 days? Like, this sucks. We can't even get a job. And Simon comes out from the back, and he's like, I have a job for you. And everyone's like, oh, you have a job. Simon, interesting. What are your connects? Who's your client? And Simon goes, the client is me. Diddle-ding-ding. Take my shit. Anyway,
Take my plan, rob that.
Rob that bitch. So we come back and Simon's like, here's all of these like valuable medicines that I have. These are worth 20 credits. These are worth 50 platinum. This is all this crazy medicine that I have. And this is just what I have on the ship in my medicine bag. We're going to go to a hospital on Ariel and we're going to rob the hospital. You guys can take all the loot. I don't give a fuck. What we really want to do is I need us all to sneak in. I need your help to sneak me in with River to the diagnostic center, and so I can examine her and see what's going on with her brain. And he's laying out this whole plan where he's like, this is how we're going to break into the hospital. We need to get some items from on the planet to make this plan work. I need Kaylee and Wash. You guys need to go to like the dump and like scavenge and pick up some stuff. And
They got to get they need a vehicle that is legal or like that will pass something. They need an
ambulance.
Yeah. And you can just find one at the dump. It's super easy. They just leave operational vehicles.
Not only can you find one at the dump, you can fix it up so fast within a day. Like make it look brand new.
Fully operational. A little janky.
2 people working on this, by the way. 2 people working on this.
Book had to take a nap. He was too tired.
Yeah, bookless episode.
Yeah. He gets a reference later,
but everyone needs to look like they belong. So Jayne gets some like forged ID cards with a little drug deal type looking situation. He gets some ID cards and medic costumes, uniforms. And Simon's teaching Mal, Zoe, and Jayne some medical lingo. So in case anybody asks them questions, they know how to answer. And they're not getting it at first. And Jayne's practicing so hard, he just can't get these gall-ram words, man. These complicated words. Mal can't get it. Mal's stuttering like a motherfucker. Zoe is like a deer in the headlights. But then eventually they all get it by the end of this montage of Kaylee and Wash working on the ship and them doing this like Duolingo. So then they enact the plan. Simon goes over to River. They're hiding in the back of the ambulance. They're quote unquote corpses that are being delivered to the morgue at this hospital. He tells River that he's gonna drug her up with something. It's gonna make her seem like she's dead. And River's like, no, I don't want to do this, Simon, no. And Simon's like, shh. We're just pretending that we're dead. Yeah. So just drugs that are gonna make us seem like we're dead, okay? Long enough for us to get into the hospital so I can help you. And then River's like, okay.
So I can make the nightmares go away.
I hate how fucking, But anyway. So they do this. They're on the ship and Mal is with Zoe and Jayne. And he's like, hey, Jayne, we all know the plan, right? Like everybody knows the plan. And everyone's like, yes, sir. And Mal goes to Jayne's like, we're not going to have any problems, are we, Jayne? And Jayne's like, what? I don't have a problem. And Mal's like, yes, you do. You have a problem with fucking Simon. And I know you have a problem with Simon. And I just want to make sure there's not going to be any mix-ups because your part of this plan is you're going to go off with Simon and River. And I want to make sure nothing goes off the rails. And Jayne's like, yeah, no, I mean, Look, man, if I'm being honest, this is a pretty fucking good heist plan.
Finally, we get a heist. We finally get a real heist job, like with the planning and everything. This is what I thought the train job was going to be, honestly.
Yeah, same. It's probably why they needed to show that. They're like, hey, remember when we fucked it up last time at the train job? Here's a real heist.
Yeah, this is a real heist. This is how it goes. You plan it out, you see what's supposed to happen, and then inevitably something goes wrong.
Oh, yeah, everything always goes sideways.
Mm-hmm.
But Jayne's like, hey, man, props to Simon. This is a good plan. He really thought this all out. Like, this is dope. So they land on the hospital's like helipad. They take out the bodies. They enter the hospital, and they're like, hey, we got some bodies here. And the nurse or whatever at the front desk is like, yeah, just take them to the morgue. Like their whole plan of like, I loved that part.
That was great.
It was such a great part of the scene when they enter, because like they did all this diligent planning, learned all these medical lingo words, and they're just like, yeah, go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't need to know how these bodies got dead.
Yeah, and Jayne is like annoyed because he took all this time to learn. He's like, but the neurotransmitters weren't responding, and the nurse just looks at him like, shut the fuck up. Just take him to the morgue. I don't care.
Now that is a little bit. That's my like rescinded nitpick. Was they go in, because we hear when they're on the plane, Mal tells Jayne no pranks on Simon, which I thought was hilarious. He doesn't use the term pranks, but basically says don't play any games. I'm like, good, because you guys have the worst timing with pranks, and they're always bad. Because Jayne mentioned something like tattooing him or something while he's knocked out.
Yeah.
And then we see Jayne rehearsing his line, and you're like, okay, he's really trying. And now my thought was Jayne will end up having to say the line and pretend to be like a medical person, like a paramedic, when Mal gets like stopped by someone and he doesn't actually like do the right thing. And then we see Jayne step up and we're like, great, he did take it all in and he's better than Zoe and Mal. I rescind that nitpick because of what happens later in the episode, but it was like too close for him to be rehearsing the line and then say the line like right there, you know? It was just, it just needed some space to like let it breathe to like have that reveal happen. But of course he was going to do it.
I was just like waiting for somebody. I wanted them to rehearse the lines and somebody asked them a follow-up question. They always kind of like look at each other. That's what I was thinking was going to happen.
Yeah, you wanted something like that. And I do love the, just bring them in. They don't need the lines. But then he just says it anyway. But it was like, okay. I feel like it could have had a more weight to it, but because of the way the episode goes later, I can't really criticize it too much because I don't know when he would do it.
Yeah. So they all go to the morgue. Jayne takes River and Simon to the morgue. Zoe and Mal go to a separate, they split up. Jayne gives Simon and River the drugs to wake them up.
Yeah.
And
Mal gives them the drugs.
Oh, right.
Mal gives them the drugs to wake him up, and then he leaves with Zoe in the caskets to go to the med bay to get that medicine. And then Jayne's like, I guess I'll just stay right here. And then
and as soon as they leave, Jayne's like, I'm out of here.
And I was like, oh, what is he about to do?
Oh, he is up to some dastardly business.
Yes.
So Jayne goes over to a communication device thing, calls the police, and he's like, hey, I've got the fugitives. You got my money. And the guy's like, all right. And Jayne's like, they're at this hospital. Come meet me. I'll hand them over to you. Just make sure you got my money. And I was like, oh, Jayne.
Yeah. And this is the thing Jayne said on the plane when they were going in. He says, it's fine. I'm fine as long as I get paid. And they linger on him. And I'm like, And
so Jayne goes,
do you think he still does that? Do you think he still does this if he thinks Mal is going to put his foot down with Simon and them?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he does still try to do this because he just got stabbed. Yeah. If he doesn't get, if he doesn't get stabbed, maybe not. Mm-hmm. But he just got stabbed.
Yeah. Yeah. Sliced, I would say. Sliced.
Yeah. Slashed.
Right across the chest deep enough to have stitches like that. It's going to leave
Yeah,
a
man.
scar, buddy.
Yeah. So I think if he doesn't get slashed,
Yeah.
he doesn't do this. But after the slashing, no matter what, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm betraying you, bitch.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I cannot really, I mean, I get it. I get it.
It is his character.
It is his character, and it is like, it's so hypocritical for Mal. Mal this whole time is like, that's my crew.
Well,
that's
it's
my
one
crew,
thing to
but-
get him off the ship. It's another thing to turn him directly over to the feds. I think that's the
Yeah.
difference. Like, you can be like, we need to drop you guys off at a different planet, and you guys are going to have to find another crew to work through. But to be like, here you go, feds, mess this girl up some more, that's egregious. And Book would probably just strangle Jayne out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another time.
That's when we learn what his skill set is.
He's like John Wick preacher type
Yeah,
deal.
I'm into wet work, Ariel.
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Chronic migraine is 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for adults with migraine with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Ask your doctor and visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
So Jayne goes back to the morgue. River wakes up. Simon wakes up. They all start puking and stuff. And Jayne's like, oh boy, these two. So Mal and Zoe, they're leaving. They're going through the hospital. They got their little caskets, and a doctor stops them. He's like, where the hell are you two going? And they're like, oh, we're just going to take these bodies to the morgue. And he's like, the morgue is that way, dummies. And they're like, oh, shit, sorry, I just got turned around. And he's like, let me see your badges. Let me see these badges. And he's like inspecting them. That guy looked familiar. I feel like he's been in a bunch of stuff.
He's definitely an actor that you've seen in a bunch of things too. I don't know. He's a character actor that's been in a ton of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those people that just pops up in like every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have River and Simon and Jayne. They're like going through the hospital because they need to get to the diagnostics thing. Simon's pushing River, who's in a wheelchair. Jayne is, just accompanying them.
Simon's dressed like a doctor.
Okay. I wrote in my note, River's being annoying and weird. River tells can tell that like one doctor is not doing a good job with helping his patient. And she's like, that patient's going to die. And Simon's like, no, he's not. It's fine. He's got a doctor. And River starts screaming like, that patient's going to die.
What is her power? How is she able to read minds and see that? Like,
she can feel everything, Vance.
But that doesn't answer how you know what he injected someone with.
Yeah. But Simon's like, oh, all right, well, I'll go help this patient. Simon walks over. He starts treating the patient. The patient's doctor is like, who the fuck are you? Like, what?
He says, who the fuck are you way too late in that conversation. Like, he already goes to the other side of the bed. And then he goes, oh, wait, who are you?
Yeah, I mean, Simon's like picking up needles, got them in his mouth. He's like, we got a defibrillator. He's like, Claire. And then he like injects him with some drugs.
The nurses.
And the doctor's looking at him like, what the fuck?
This is in my note. I have Simon does some ER Grey's Anatomy type medical doctoring.
So then after he revives the guy, the doctor's like, whoa, how'd you know all of that? And Simon just gets in his face. He's like, you're a terrible doctor. How'd you think that you could give him some formaldehyde when he just got anesthetic with died? Don't you know that that's poisonous? And the doctor's like, I'm sorry. And Simon's like, be better.
Any first-year med student would know this.
Yeah.
And then...
don't be sorry, be better.
And then everyone just starts clapping as he walks away.
Yeah. Streamers fall from the ceiling. But no, Simon just like walks away and starts pushing River and around, and Jayne sees it and he's like, whoa, Simon's actually like a good doctor. And River's like, yay, my brother saved the guy.
Yeah.
It'd be hilarious if River, like every patient they pass, she starts screaming and Simon has to fix everybody in the hospital.
Simon, I love that Simon was like, no, these are some of the best doctors ever. And then River's like, where you should be. And he's like, yeah, I should be on this planet helping these people that are fortunate, I guess. It's the weirdest.
Yep.
I understand they want this scene to make it that Simon is a good doctor, which I guess we just already knew, but sure, we get to see him. Yeah. And you would think Jayne seeing it would add a little layer of like, I don't know, should I be doing this? Yeah. Doesn't hit his heart at all.
Nope.
I was waiting. I was like, this is the moment where we find out that Jayne's plan is not fully what it seemed to be.
Yeah, or he would have a change of heart or something. Yeah. Like, oh wow, the doctor he just saved. He's an amazing doctor.
Like some type of triple cross happening.
Yeah.
No, he's like, yeah, that was a good job. You saved a life. Now,
couldn't care less about that guy. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we go back to Mal and Zoe, and the doctor's like, I don't trust you two. You two follow me. And they're like, why? Mal's like, why? Where are we going? And the doctor's like, do you understand the chain of command here? I'm the doctor. You're fucking nobody EMT underlings. You follow me. And then Mal goes, yeah, but where are we going? And we see Zoe lurking in the background.
It's so unsubtle.
Yeah. She gets the drop on this doctor and just zaps him with, I don't know what it
paddles,
is.
The electrical paddles.
She goes, defibrillator?
Yeah, because she goes clear.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And that knocks this doctor out.
Mm-hmm.
So then we take River to the diagnostic room. Simon does a bunch of fucking Minority Report type computer shit on her.
I wrote that in my notes too.
Yeah. Zoe and Mal, they go to the drug room of the hospital. Their badges don't work, so they just take their badge off of the doctor they just knocked out, and his badge works. But then they have, this is the biggest, tiniest little nitpick.
Well, no, they dump him out.
No. So they use the doctor's badge, and then Mal has to use a thumbprint to get in.
I thought he was just pushing I thought he was just pushing a button to open the door.
Okay, that could be. It looked like it was like a thumbprint scanner to me, but tiny nitpick.
It's one of those things where they get there and it's like, good thing we knocked out this doctor because they changed the code.
Right? I'm surprised they didn't like change into his clothes.
Yeah.
But they go in, they start looting the fuck out of this drug room, man. They plop the doctor on the ground. They just fill these caskets with fucking all the drugs that you could get.
They didn't bring duffel bags for that? Like,
right?
Because they're pushing caskets around a hospital. Like, that's going to be more shady than anything.
Yeah.
Why is this casket in the recovery room? Like, don't will this through the cancer ward.
But so Simon's still doing Minority Report computer stuff. He figures out that they opened River's skull, and he's like, why would they do that? The only time that anyone would ever do that was for a lobotomy. They cut into her brain. They cut into it over and over and over and over and over again. oh my God, they stripped her of her amygdala. And Jayne's like, what? What's amygdala? And he's like, it means that River's unfiltered. She can see and feel and understand all. And she doesn't have a filter. Just everything that you can feel, she feels, and everything that you can experience, she experiences. And then Jayne's just like looking over her shoulder like, okay, Fed should be here any minute. And River starts screaming because she can feel Jayne's betrayal, it seems like. She can sense that something is amiss. And then Jayne's like, all right, well, we got to go. We got to meet up with Mal out the back. And Simon's like, that's not the plan. Jayne's like, plan has changed. And Simon's like, what? Since when? He's like, since fucking shut up. Don't question me. The plan changed. Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Mal told me that this is the new plan. And so Simon's like, all right, well, I guess if Mal told you, let's go.
I mean, you were dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe things changed when you died.
So they go through the hospital, and River can suspect something's up. She's like, I don't want to go through this door. I don't want to go through this door. And Simon's like, it's okay. It's okay. We're just going to go meet with Mal. And Jayne is standing holding open the door. And they go outside, and the federal marshals show up. And they're like, Simon and River Taft, or whatever their last name. Tam. You're under arrest for being fugitives. So they arrest them. And then Jayne's like, all right, so he goes up to the head federal marshal. He's like, all right, so how are we going to play this? Am I just like behind, or how am I going to get my payout? And the federal marshal goes, you mean my payout? Because I just arrested 3 fugitives. And they slap some handcuffs on Jayne. And he's like, what is this? And then the federal marshal's like, you're a fugitive, man. What? I'm not doing a fucking deal with you. Like, I'm getting the money. This is bullshit.
Well, he's aiding and abetting fugitives.
Yeah. And so Jayne's like, that's not fair. That's not right. We had a deal. And then they shoot him with their weird force gun.
Yeah.
And he falls to the ground. So all 3 of them are under arrest now.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little twist. I like that.
Yeah, you can't trust these Alliance fellas, you know?
Yeah, they're all pigs.
The only one you can trust is that companion that's on your ship, kind of.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's the only respectable person of this entire crew. So Mal and Zoe, they make it back to the ambulance ship, and Mal is like, where's Jayne, Simon, and River? They should be back by now. And then Wash is like, I don't give a fuck. Maybe they're just like tied up a little bit, something. They'll be fine. They'll be here any minute. Let's get these drugs on board. Let's sell them. Let's go to a fucking nice vacation planet after we sell all these drugs. And so they're like, okay, yeah, sure. Mal's like, I'm still a little concerned. It's 2 minutes past the rendezvous time. And they're like, don't worry, they'll be here.
Yeah, Wash and Zoe are horny for this take.
Boy, are they. I mean, this will be like one of the first takes that we ever see the Firefly crew successfully complete.
This is probably their like second or third.
Yeah.
Second. They did something an episode before.
They did the cattle one. The cattle.
They successfully did the cattle one. Yeah.
Yeah. They did the one Janestown, I guess. They got the clay from Kessler.
Yeah. I feel like we had another episode where they like
liaison. Or
they
whatever.
had just finished a job that we didn't see. But yeah. Yeah, they're been getting a little bit. They're getting better since the unaired pilot. Oh, okay, I know what I wanted to ask about this episode. When did this one come out?
This came out after Shindig and Safe in the order that it aired.
So this is like the 3rd episode airing?
No, this is one of the last episodes to air. This is the 4th to last episode to air. Yeah.
4th
anyway.
to last. Oh boy,
yeah,
it's a lot of math you're giving me to do.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like what?
Sorry. But anyway, yes. So then we go to Jayne, Simon, and River. They're in like the holding cell, and they're like trying to figure out a way to get out. And River starts rambling about how they took Christmas away. And Jayne's like, will you shut the fuck up?
I like wrote this line down because I was like, it has to mean something. I know she says random.
I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. It's like they took Christmas away, blah, blah, blah. Don't look in the closet either. Not in the spirit of the holiday. And I'm assuming this is just her sensing that she's being betrayed by Jayne.
Jayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's really adamant about her shutting up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we go back to the ambulance, and now Mal is very concerned. He's like, hey, it's been too long. They should have been here by now. Something bad's probably happened. So they get Wash to call Kaylee to see if something's going on in the hospital with security, if there's any alerts going on. And Kaylee's like, no, but there is like this weird scrambled talking about ducks. And then Mal's like, that means they've been caught. They've been caught. Mm-hmm. We got to go back in and we got to rescue them.
Jayne is always getting mistaken for a duck.
Yeah, man. So the marshals are questioning and they're talking to Simon and River and they're like, hey, what the fuck is it? You guys stand up. And Simon's like, I want to know what's going on here. And the marshal's like, I don't have to tell you shit. And Simon's like, yes, you do, because I know that somebody here wants us alive. And I want to know who. And if you don't tell me who, then you can just shoot me and then you'll be fucked. So what's going on here? And the guy gives him information. You're being transferred to a holding area where the feds are going to like pick you up and I guess do more experiments on your sister or some shit.
I like this Simon. I think this is a good Simon episode. I think this is a really good Simon episode. He's had fallen off for me since the pilot. I think I had a little more for him in the pilot, and then he's fallen off because it's been more like whiny and stuff. But this is his strong suit, all of the stuff here, and I like him here.
Yeah, here a little tease here. Middle of the episode. This might be the best episode of Firefly so far, in my opinion.
Agreed.
This is a good one.
Yeah,
this is interesting. There's betrayal. There's all kinds of moving parts. I really like this episode.
There's character dynamics that are at play. We actually get to see a heist planned out and see these guys do stuff, like actually do a mission, see how this team works together.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Best episode so far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Jayne, Simon, and River, they're being transferred to like a holding area. And then Jayne just starts beating up some of these guards. Simon starts helping. Simon's getting in on the action. He's like, get these hands that are tied behind my back. And then they just straight up kill some of these guards.
Yo, I mean, the one thing they teach you when you're a doctor is how to kill people. You know how to save them. I mean, if you know how to save them, you know how to kill them.
I mean, Jayne is like using brute force, like just slamming this guy's head with his hands and stuff.
It's like Jayne's fight is brutal because he's trying to like smother the guy with his hand, but then the guy bites his hand and it's like all bloody. And River's just watching this.
That's brutal. That's brutal, but Simon's like straight up kneeling on a guy's neck the whole time. I was like, jeez.
I didn't think he had it in him, but
well, apparently he didn't kill him.
No,
from later what happens later on.
I guess
he just like choked him out.
I thought he killed that one, and the one that Jayne had got knocked out because Jayne was like still fighting his.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I thought that it was Simon like choked the guy out and Jayne killed his guy. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think Jayne killed. I don't know, man. The guy that was getting his knee, a knee to the throat, he was not moving, and I know the other guy was still putting up a fight.
Yeah. So then we see Mal and Zoe. They're going through the hospital. They're walking very quickly, which is kind of suspicious. Like they run through a hallway and like nurses look at them like, where are they going?
Well, you came in here the first time with body with like the caskets, but why are you back?
Yeah.
That's when they need to like say their lines.
Yeah. So Wash walkie-talkies into them and he's like, guys, we got some trouble. Their reinforcements have arrived, so more feds have shown up. So Then we go back to Jayne, Simon, and River, and Jayne uncuffs himself and uncuffs Simon and River. River can feel through the ether that reinforcements have arrived.
They're here.
Yeah. Jayne's like, we need to go back out the way that we came because I don't know. Like, River wants to go one way down this hall. Jayne wants to go back the way that they came in. And Simon's like, there's like 6 guys there. And Jayne's like, I could take 6 guys. That's nothing.
He has a gun now, too.
Yeah. And then River starts like running the opposite direction. And Jayne's like, well, fuck, I guess we're going that way. Shit. I was totally expecting Jayne to go the other way. Like, why would he just tried to sell them out, you know? Why would he trust River?
I think something else happens and then they go the other way. I think the order is that the Hands of Blue people show up and we hear the screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hands of Blue guys show up and the marshals are talking to them, and then they use some kind of blue stick that vibrates some kind of high frequency that makes the marshals' eyes, ears, and mouth just start gushing blood.
It's horrible. It's like,
yeah.
It's the Men in Black if it was a horror movie. Instead of just erasing your memory, it just like destroys your brain and body.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Because now, the next scene is like River hearing the screaming from the marshals. And then Jayne's like, okay, well, I guess we will go this way, River. All right, let's go.
Yeah. But that was scary. The Hands of Blue people are a real threat now, which is nice to see. 2. And I think they're more of a threat than the Reavers. You know, like
which we haven't heard about in quite some time.
Yeah. And I know the Hands of Blue people are probably always going to be like a danger, but like here, watching them like just destroy heartlessly, just like kill this FBI guy just because he talked to the people. Like they don't want anyone to know, which is a little, doesn't fully track with the big, I guess they never, did they run into the guy that interviewed? No, I guess no one ever talked to him. And the first time we saw him, he was just like, what is this Firefly ship?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you interact with them, they will kill you.
Yeah. So River, Jayne, and Simon, they're running around this place, and they're running. The Hands of Blue guys are walking around menacingly. They're like on their trail. They go into the room where Jayne and Simon like had just beat up those guards. And the one guard that is still alive, they pull out their blue stick. They kill the fuck out of that guy. No mercy.
Mm-hmm.
River's running down some stairs, and she's like, we're almost there. We're almost there. They find a door. And Jayne's got his gun. He's like, all right, I'm going to shoot it. He shoots it with his little force gun, and it doesn't work. And he's like, this is a bunch of bullshit Alliance crap. He just starts bashing this lock. The Hands of Blue guys are tight on their trail. He's like trying to use brute force to bust open this door. And eventually the door gets blown open by a shotgun from the other side. And Jayne's like, what the fuck is this? And it is Mal and Zoe. They show up to rescue them. They blew off this door. I don't know how they got there.
Did they show up to rescue them, or were they planning to kill who was ever behind that door?
I was going to say, like, Jayne definitely should have gotten shot.
Well, he's a little off to the side at an angle trying to knock the doorknob off. And then they just shoot through the doorknob. But they don't know where that person is.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hey, stand back. We got this. They just blast. If they would have looked back and River had a hole in her sternum, I'd have been like, yeah, what the fuck were you guys doing? You just blasted through the door.
Yeah.
Obviously, someone was at the door when you shot it.
So they all escape through this door now. They run up to the ambulance and they all take off. And the Hands of Blue guys, they just arrived now that everyone's gone, and they see the door is open, and they see that the door is open, and they go, they must have escaped. Let's not follow anymore.
Then they put on jetpacks and they chase them.
So then we go back to Serenity, and Inara's back on the ship, and she's like, Kaylee's like, how'd your test go? And she's like, went well, lots of needles, lots of tests, but everything is on the up and up, and I'm still a companion. Where's everybody else? And Kaylee's like, well, they ran into some trouble on the planet, like we do. But they should be back any second. Then the ambulance returns.
It's a more hilarious rundown. She basically says, we killed Simon and River and then broke into the hospital. Like, she gives a full recap the same way she did in the train job when she's talking about, oh yeah, we just dropped down in the ship and dropped down on the train and broke in and then stole the medicine. Like, she just starts with, yeah, so first we killed Simon and River, and then it's a hilarious
like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, again, Inara, why are you on this ship?
Right.
Why are you on this ship? But I do like
got
this.
Great deal. Got a great deal. She's got paying a quarter of the price.
Is it a great deal, though?
Just death always surrounding you.
He just robbed a hospital. But I do like that they were showing that the Alliance is not all it's cracked up to be. The doctors aren't as good. The guns don't always work. There's like little chinks in the armor,
Yeah. But the ambulance returns to Serenity. Everybody gets off. They got all their drugs. Simon's like, yeah. Jayne is like, so did you get what you need? Mal's like, so did you get what you need, Simon? And Simon's like, yeah, I think I can actually help River now. I'm very thankful that we did this thing. And you know what? I'm especially thankful for you, Jayne. Jayne, you are amazing. You helped us out in our toughest time. You busted us out of there. You killed guys, and or attempted to kill a guy for us. Like, dude, you're amazing. Really appreciate it. I never thought that you would have done this. And Jayne's like, don't worry about it. And then they look at Jayne's head and they're like, oh my God, what happened to your head, Jayne? He's got some big bruise and he's like, oh, it's, shit happens, And so everyone leaves and Simon's like, Jayne's amazing. Everyone leaves except for Jayne and Mal. Jayne's putting away the drugs in their secret abyss in the ship that no one can ever find. And he stands up and he's like, man, we got a lot of money for this, man. So what's the take? What's the divvying up that's going to happen? And then Mal just fucking smacks this motherfucker in the head with a wrench.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And during this scene, Mal says, hey, if you hadn't come, you wouldn't be getting your big payday earlier in the scene when they were talking.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good job of like setting up that whole pay thing. And yeah, but when he sucker punched him with the wrench, amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And the next scene, incredible.
Yeah.
Jayne wakes up in like the hatch, like the hatchback of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a walkie-talkie next to him. And he wakes up, he's like, where the fuck, what's going on here? Where am I? And he sees that he's in this like a little tiny hatch, like divider between him and the ship. And then Mal shows up in the window and he's got his walkie-talkie. And he's like, pick up your walkie-talkie. And Jayne picks it up. He's like, what the hell's going on here? And Mal presses a button and it opens the hatch. And it's like, it's open like a good foot or two.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just all this air. They're going into atmosphere. They're leaving the planet. And Jayne's like, Mal, what the hell are you doing? What the hell's going on here? And Mal's like, don't act dumb, dude. I know that you fucking betrayed us. You tried to sell us out to the feds. You called the feds. And Jayne's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't, Mal. No, I didn't. And Mal's like, bro, I fucking know that you did. And like, I don't give a fuck. Even if you didn't, I know you're lying, but even if you did, like, you're about to get sucked up into that fucking atmosphere. So like, whatever. And then Jayne's like, all right. Okay. I called the feds on Simon and River because I wanted to get that money and they're a bunch of trouble anyway. And Mal is like, I can't believe you. You betrayed me. And Jayne goes, whoa, I didn't call the feds on you. Just on Simon and River. It's not like I called on you. And Mal goes, if you call the feds on any member of my crew, you're calling the feds on me. You're betraying me because that's my crew. And Jayne's like, oh, come on, man. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, what? Dude, really?
I do love that Jayne says the money was too good. And in my note, I'm like, understandable based off of how he got hired on this ship. You literally paid him more money to join your crew. He is going to take the higher payday every time.
That flashback is so good from the last episode, from Out of Gas, like his whole introduction to the crew. But if I'm Jayne here, I'm saying like, bro, she stabbed me. I think Mal brings it up. When they're on the ship and he's like, well, when they're about to do the job and he's like, you're not going to have any problems, are we? I know that like, River got a little stabby with you. And Jayne's like, no. Well, here's when Jayne should be like, bro, she stabbed me.
Well, because you can't on the ship be like, it won't be a problem because she stabbed me. And then after you get caught doing the bad thing, be like, oh, it's a problem because she stabbed me. Jayne is completely wrong, dude. No way.
But there's an announcement over the intercom. And it's like 2 minutes till leaving atmosphere. And Mal's like, well, you betrayed me, man. Sucks to suck. In about 2 minutes, you're going to get sucked up through that little 2-foot hole and you're going to die. And he starts to walk away. And Jayne's like, what are you going to tell the other people about why I'm dead? And Mal's like, I don't know. And Jayne over the walkie-talkie goes, please tell them something else. Don't tell them that I betrayed us. Please just make something up. Like, I don't want to go out like this. Like, I don't want people thinking that, like, I'm this scumbag.
Yeah, I want my Janestown ending.
And Mal hears that, and he's like, ugh. And then he closes the hatch. And Jayne is like, whew, thank God. But he's still stuck in that little room. And he's like, are you going to let me into the ship? And Mal just walks away.
Yeah, there's a great line that Mal says here that I'll leave for the outro quote of the episode. But I did like the tag of, can I come in?
Yeah. Can I come in?
Yeah.
I really love this scene too. This is a great scene. Of the tension between Mal and Jayne.
I think it would have been badass if Mal killed him.
Yeah, it definitely would have, but it's Jayne.
I know, but you can't in the beginning say, Mal, you should get River off the ship because she slashed Jayne and be like, yeah, you got a point. Maybe get rid of Simon and River. But then Jayne does this. And then you're like, no, he gets to stay too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is such you can't keep Jayne around if you can't trust this now. Because now you really put it on a thing where now you got to watch your back doubly.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I feel like Jayne may have learned his lesson.
Okay. He may have learned his lesson. For at least 2 episodes. He may have learned his lesson, but would you, as Mal, trust that he learned his lesson? Or would you be on your guard even more?
How many strikes do you think Jayne should get? Now, keep in mind, Jayne is part of Mal's crew.
Well, then you get unlimited mistakes. Unless you're the engineer that Kaylee replaced.
Yeah. That guy was just incompetent.
Yeah.
Jayne's at least competent.
Jayne is competent. But now, I mean, you'd be like, hey, Book, can you do a couple things? What's your skill set?
Yeah. Can you be our new Jayne?
I just feel like I'm still in the same position of like, I don't know if River's going to like lose her mind and stab me at night. And I also don't know if Jayne's going to lose his mind and stab me at night. But I'm going to take my chances fighting the skinny girl than the trained killer.
Yeah. The guy that's always with a giant machete.
Yeah. Whose favorite toy is the giant gun.
Yeah. This is my baby. What was her name? Vera.
Yeah. So Vera? Like, so they just go back to dinner and just like eat and celebrate stuff
they
and like
laugh at books, monastery stories.
No, I do like Simon praising Jayne and not knowing. And River kind of does know it. River seems like she does know it, but somehow she has a filter enough not to just come out and say it.
Yeah.
Because it looks, every time you see her in the background, she has this look on her face like, I don't really trust Jayne.
Yeah. I did like that Simon didn't figure it out, though. Yeah. And he's like, this guy's fucking, he saved our lives. Thank you, Jayne. Jayne's like, don't worry about it.
It's interesting. Jayne really wants to hold on to that little weird friendship he has with the guy he betrayed in Simon.
Yeah.
Like, don't let him know that I betrayed them.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
But, yeah, Jayne is left inside that little holding area. That's his little punishment. So then we go to River, and River's drawing some Russian dolls, and Simon shows up. He's like, oh, that's so pretty. And he's got some more drugs for her. And she's like, oh, no, is it time to go to sleep again? And Simon goes, no, it's time to wake up. And then he shoots her up with some drugs, and that's the end of the episode.
Which has me excited that she might be cogent next time we see her.
Watch her just be normal next episode. Just like
I'm starting to remember some stuff from the Serenity movie, like the very little bit. And I'm wondering if the thing that I think I remember from the Serenity movie is going to happen now that she's had this shot. Now, I could be wrong in my memory of what I think happens in that. I might just be picturing the poster, but yeah.
Watch her, like, you remember that episode of The Simpsons when Homer gets the crayon removed from his brain?
He's super smart.
And he just becomes a genius. It's just going to happen to River. And then they're going to be like, can we make her crazy again?
Oh, man, that is a weird Simpsons thing because it doesn't track. Because later they find out that all the female Simpsons are smart and all the male Simpsons are dumb. But the reason Homer is dumb is because of the crayon. I mean, what were they doing continuity-wise?
Doesn't make any sense. Boys watching The Simpsons.
Boys watching The Simpsons.
Joe, we said it would take fucking 50 years.
We didn't say we were going to announce that yet.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, that is Ariel. I really like this episode.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm sure we'll go back. Jayne will just be like normal member of the crew. It'll pretend like this never happened.
Yeah. River will still be crazy.
I don't think River's going to be crazy anymore. I think this is going to... I feel like this and Angel have done a character reset a little bit.
Oh my God, Angel, yeah.
So I feel like we're getting characters that are going to be a little more tampered down.
All right, fair enough. Well, the next episode is titled War Stories. I think this
find out about Book.
What?
I think we're going to find out about Book.
Oh,
that's my prediction. Okay.
I think this is going to be Mal finds somebody that he fought with alongside as a part of the Browncoats, and then it's like they're buddies, but then that guy betrays Mal and the crew, and then he's going to have to kill his friend and be like, I didn't want to have to do this, but you're a piece of shit and you hurt my crew. And that's what I'm predicting.
Wow. Yeah, and unless he like in last minute signs up with the crew and be like, I'm part of your crew, so you can't kill me. it's like how you repent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All right, I'm dying. Okay, can I pledge my allegiance to your crew, Mal?
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
Mal's like, fuck, damn it. What skills can you bring? I can cook macaroni and cheese.
Dude,
all right.
I love mac and cheese. Grab it.
Oh man, but yeah, that is Ariel. That is our episode on Ariel. Everybody, you got anything else to say about this one?
No, this is a good episode. This is kind of what I was expecting from the show, I would think.
Yeah.
Took a while.
I mean, this is
took a while to get there. Took a while to get there.
This is a good Western space melting of both.
Mm-hmm.
Heists, betrayals, like it took a while. Yeah, we're in episode 9. But yeah, this is a good one, man.
Yeah, less Western in this one. Not a lot of Westernness in it, but
So yeah, that is a wrap. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hop on our Patreon where we're doing Boys Watching Angel, Boys Watching Movies. Be on the lookout for The Long Kiss Goodnight. Join our Discord. Drop in those lyrics. We'll see. I'm gonna try to learn that song a little bit better so I don't have to sight read it, but definitely fucked it up a little bit. Well, yeah, drop in your lyrics about Ariel. You want to get a shout out? Haven't had any shout outs recently. What's up with that, people?
Yeah.
But get on that. Shout out to you, Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating. I guess everyone that's listening has already done it or wants to, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating and review. Spotify, 5-star rating. Take a screenshot of it. Send it in. Also, thanks to everybody that, we were there on their Spotify Wrapped top 5 podcasts. Appreciate y'all. We got merch. We've got Amazon wishlist. And that's it. Oh, no. Instagram, TikTok, at Boys Watching Buffy. BoysWatchingBuffy@gmail.com. Stay tuned next time for when we talk about war stories.
The next time you decide to stab me in the back,
have the guts to do it to my face.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.